energy, you see. That's what it was when I first met you. I loved your energy. And hey, that's why you've got a long way, because you believe in it, you're optimistic, you want to change things. And, as you said, there's a lot going on. There's America, there's Italy, but I'm going to make one big boast, all right? We were here first.
Right.
We were here
maybe
first.
it's for both crazy enough to believe in the impossible.
But in the sense of a political movement, the campaign for Brexit predates all the other things that were going on. And I kind of think to myself, well, actually, in many ways, the United Kingdom follows America with everything. Fashion, music, financial markets. We follow everything America does. But I think Trump came after Brexit.
Do you?
And I think actually Brexit in a way helped the Trump phenomenon, because what we'd done here was very clearly to take on and beat the global establishment in that referendum. And I think it's been a bit of an inspiration around the world.
Well, I think it's just been symbiotic. I think at the end of the day, as we saw these economies becoming more globalized, people were just starting to feel it. And sometimes it's not about whether or not the sentiment is there. It's about whether or not there's a leader. Right. There's a leader to get to the forefront and say, you know what, enough is enough. It's not easy to stand up on a stage and say something that sounds so crazy and impossible. Right. I mean, you got up and you said, hey, we're going to leave the European Union.
Yeah, I was saying it for a long time.
Very long time. I mean, that's how long? How long were you saying
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. No, I felt 25 years ago, I felt that the political establishment in Britain and the whole of Europe had got things wrong. There was a post-1945, a post-war settlement. And, remember, this bitterness and rivalry and constant war between France and Germany had, destroyed huge chunks of the world, dragged America in twice to the conflict. So the idea that post-1945, you have a reconciliation, you start to trade with each other, you start to become friendly with each other as neighbours, all of that made sense. But what I began to see in the late 1980s was that this idea of close cooperation was actually morphing into something else. That rather than being a cooperative structure, it was actually becoming an entity in its own right, a state in its own right, the European superstate that they're trying to build, and that this was being done without anybody being asked whether they wanted it. It was being imposed upon them, and there was nothing voters could do to change the structure, because the people in power were appointed, not elected. So these are the first alarm bells that started to ring with me. And I thought then, and I think now, that the nation state is the model that actually works. That's the thing that we feel an allegiance to. That's the thing that we're prepared to pay our taxes to. That's the thing that, in extremis, we're prepared to stand up and defend.
Right.
And so all of these supranational structures, whether it's the European Union, whether it's the annual gathering at Davos, whether it's elements of the United Nations in New York, these are all attempts actually to diminish the nation state and what it stands for. And that's in a way what is so refreshing about Trump, is that here you have an American president who says, hey, do you know what? We are unashamedly proud of who we are as a country, and we're not going to take orders from anyone.
We will make America great again.